You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
Manchester United's recent defeat to Leicester was one of their worst for some time. And while chaotic and characterised by quick changes in the score, the result was fair to the pattern of the game and attributable to an issue which continues to affect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side. But what is it, and how does it all trace back to Cristiano Ronaldo? Ronaldo is now 36 and doesn't have the physical capacity to repeatedly press. Manchester United knew the deal when signing him. They would get little out of him in terms of regaining possession, but would be sure of a goal per game or pretty close to it. And Ronaldo has largely kept to his side of the deal. His previous sides have been, to varying extents, structured to cover for him. If he played on the left, the opposite winger would tuck inside more. If he played up front, the wide players or the number 10 would play deeper than they would have expected. When Ronaldo leaves, others, Wayne Rooney, Karim Benzema, go up a level because they're no longer playing second fiddle. But Manchester United are not successfully covering for him. Without possession, they are neither one thing nor the other. They don't drop off successfully and form a compact block, and they don't press. The consequence is that the opposition easily play through them. So here's what happened when United dropped off against Leicester. The first time a Leicester pass arrowed through United's midfield to a man in space, like this one from Boubakary Soumaré towards Kelechi Iheanacho, it seemed like a one-off example of good attacking play. When it happened again, from Yuri Tielemans to James Maddison, the question was whether Manchester United's holding midfield duo of Nemanja Matic and Paul Pogba were positioned correctly. The third time, Maddison to Tielemans on this occasion, the wide players might be questioned, with them vaguely in pressing positions but without the side applying any pressure to the man on the ball. Matic and Pogba, it transpired, were due some sympathy for being forced to cover so much lateral space. And then when Tielemans received the ball and spun, the extent of the gap between midfield and defence was apparent, as was the amount of ground Matic and Pogba were being forced to cover vertically too. And here's what happens when United pressed in that game. In this passage, Ronaldo glances behind him and gestures for Mason Greenwood to push forward and shut down Çağlar Söyüncü. Greenwood does as he's told, but without much method. He doesn't cut off any passing angles. Had he moved in a more organised side, he might have bent his run to block off the passing lane into Leicester's left wing-back, but he just ambled straight towards Söyüncü, which meant that the defender could easily turn and play a simple ball to Castagne. There is no United player backing up the initial press, and so Castagne could dribble forwards into space. Ronaldo now felt obliged to drop back and shut him down, but Castagne simply passed inside to a free midfielder, and Leicester were able to build from the centre of the pitch. Now, the shape without the ball just isn't what you expect of a Premier League side. United's 4-2-3-1 often looks more like a 4-2-4. Here's one example of them in a midfield block, with Jadon Sancho trying to start a press. They just look easy to play through, with so many gaps around individuals. A comparison with Leicester's shape doesn't quite make sense, but a contrast with Rafa Benitez's Everton, their previous opponents, does. Here, there's organisation within the individual lines, and cohesion between them. Note how the defence and midfield are together. United's starting 11 is impressive in terms of individuals, but poor in terms of partnerships and balance. And the consequences are evident. Fernandes is now being forced to do more running without possession to compensate for Ronaldo. In doing so, he's expending a lot of energy and is less able to focus on what happens when the ball comes his way. This might not be such a problem if United had a disciplined wide duo to keep the midfield solid, but Sancho is an extremely attack-minded winger who is more accustomed to a Dortmund side that tried to press cohesively. He's still putting himself in those positions rather than helping out United's midfielders. On the other flank, Mason Greenwood is a similarly attacking player. He's started as a centre-forward in 2 of United's first 3 games of the season, but can't now expect it to be like Park Ji-sung without the ball. Of course, the central midfield zone has the same old problems. We've known for years that Pogba is poor defensively when playing in a central midfield duo. Solskjaer worked that out, preferred to use him from wide, and he started the season in excellent form. But now Ronaldo has to play as a striker, which means Greenwood is playing out wide, which means Pogba has been shifted inside again. And it's difficult to see what the solution is. Solskjaer feels like a Galactico-era Real Madrid manager, compelled to start certain players because of their reputation. Omitting Ronaldo or Fernandes seems impossible. He can't be seen to be wasting the £73 million Sancho. Greenwood deserves to start based on form, and Pogba started the season brilliantly. But these 5 players can't play together. This all felt entirely predictable after Ronaldo's arrival. Whether he should contribute more without possession is debatable, but it seems obvious that his presence has caused a tactical conundrum that Solskjaer might not be able to solve.
Tifo merge, coming to find what you're looking for. Tifo merge, put it on your body and drink out of it. From the grasslands of Australia to the peaks and plains of Antarctica and through the rivers of North America comes a shop of merch that is so damn cool that it's really cool. So cool you have to buy all the merchandise. Buy the merchandise. Come in and buy all our merchandise. Merchandise. Looky right here, there's merchandise. Put your merchandise. Gotta get your hands on the merchandise. Merchandise. Buy the merch.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic brings you the best sports journalism in the world in a personalised experience, connecting you with the stories and teams that you care about the most. There's coverage of 13 sports, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As, discussions and podcasts. Not to mention, it's all ad-free. And you can try it now for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.